Alright guys, so I'm going to do the 9.5 HVLP video today. I've got the machine set up in another room, so just trying to set this up so you can see. So I always have basic startup sets that I know will kind of get me good results quite quickly, but with the 9.5 you get a 3 needle set, a 4 needle set, and I've got 5 in there. So what I'm going to show you now is what happens. I've got a nice setup on needle 5, and that's generally what I use, a number 4 and a 5, because I can get the air down quite low and it's still spraying pretty nice. And I'll show you the difference between when you put a 3 and a 4 in on those similar settings, which is, I think, when the people are having a bit of issues trying to get a nice fan, they've not got the setup right in the first place, and that's what's causing the issues. So I've got my machine set up on number 5. It's on Smart Start, so I've just got the air turned off so I can quickly connect it up. So I just feed it. I don't normally have it on full. I normally have it slightly down. And then I've already had that mixed up, so you'll see that at the beginning of this video. I think I'll edit that in. So I've transferred my paint from my Ultra because I needed it to be a bit finer. So this is my paint consistency. Just want it running off quite nice. It's Crown Fast Flow Gloss that I've popped in here, so it is really thick. So you want it kind of like single cream consistency. In fact, I'll show you what happens when we're all on nothing and nothing. Move them out of the way. So when it's on nothing on the paint, that means the trigger. That means the trigger doesn't actually let any paint through. So every time you turn that up, that just allows the trigger to be pulled further back to allow more paint out. Obviously you need air to make the paint come out. So if we start on 1, that's on setting 1 with very little air. If we turn the air up to half, we can get a pretty fine mist coming out there, but that's not going to be very good if we're doing quite a bit of work. So again, you can adjust the dial there for the width of the fan, so all the way counterclockwise is going to be the widest fan that you can have. I'll just jump the settings up just to show you so it'll be easier. So this is the widest fan, and that's throwing a lot out. So then if we zoom that all the way in, clockwise, if you go too far it'll unthread. But that's a decent fan. It's a little bit splattering, we could reduce that more. So that is on a basic setup of just below half on the air and about 3 on the fluid. So I'll show you what it's going to be like with a 3 and a 4 needle in. So quickly whip through how to take and change the needles. Just unscrew. Everything's hand tight. There we go. I've just got a little bucket of water to pop that in. So if we start with a 3, they have the number on. Don't know if they can pick that up. And the corresponding number there. So needle in first. Push it back. And then that's grabbed it. Pop your spring in, there is a little notch there, make sure that marries up. Push it in, and just get it threaded to start, then pull your trigger. That way that when you're screwing it in, it's not going to be grinding metal on the needle. So that's in. And the horn's on. Connect it back up. So we'll keep similar settings and see how that sprays. So this is number 3. It's not. Oh. Had it on the circle fan. So that's actually coming out pretty well. Just knock the air down a little bit. And we could get away with using a number 3 actually. It is a little bit splattery and that can cause it to just be a little bit rough. So when there's not enough air, we're going to be getting that kind of look. Grab the air, drop the paint down because that's just flying out. That's a finer fan. Try it with number 4. I would usually start with a 4 in and see what it's like. Pop the trigger. I would rarely use a number 3 to be honest. But that actually sprayed quite well with it. Again, that is because I've diluted it. If you'd not diluted it, you would not get it to spray like that. It'd be a lot heavier and it wouldn't be as fine. So I'll probably keep the 4 in to do this. So if you've just got one as well, in the vertical position it means it sprays horizontal, diagonal is your circle fan, and when that's horizontal it will spray vertical. If you change it, if whatever settings you've got for horizontal or vertical, if you then change to your circle fan it's going to throw a lot of paint out, so you just have to bear that in mind. If I just open my fan up wider, drop the air down a little bit, bit too splattery, so up the air. Now we're getting a smoother fan there. And then if we wanted to be doing more detailed work, I've only just got on number 3. So that's my settings with the number 4 needle in. I'll probably just drop that paint down to a 2. It just allows you to go that little bit slower, so you're not throwing it on. But you could still get some good coverage there, but you're not after coverage in one pass. It's better to and then come back, and if it were laying flat, and then hit it again that way. So my basic setups for a startup with any of the paints, once I've diluted it between 5 to 10%, again, go back to look at the beginning where I'll show you the consistency. I'll be anywhere between 3 and 4 or below, and the air I'm rarely over that halfway mark, because the higher it is, it's going to throw a lot of dust in the air. And I'd rather move a little bit slower, still getting a nice fan, and just not have all that dust in the air. So if I was spraying spindles, I would usually have it in the diagonal setting, because then you've got a good width. You can spray just the width of the spindle to avoid overspray. And again, you can use trigger, if you've got that wound out further, you can still control it by how much you pull the trigger. So that's only pulling it a little bit. And then again, wind that in, and then I'm going to have a smaller fan, and if I pull it, and that paint's only on 2, so obviously the more paint that's there, the wider it'll be again, but it can just throw so much paint out. You just drop it down again. Drop the air down, get it to a spindle-ish width, you could do 2 passes. That's going to get plenty of paint on there without it running. Or if you wanted, get it on your horizontal fan and pick the width. It's a lot slower, so up your air. That'll be too wide. So again, take that down. But because I've taken it down now, it's not letting as much out, so I'll open the fluid up. Open fluid up a little bit more, maybe on 4 now, so I've still got the air on half. And that's going to be a decent coverage for a spindle. Again, you can knock the width down more, or if you want to go faster, add a bit more paint and slightly up the air. If you want to go slower, just drop the air down. You might have to drop the paint down a bit. And then if you want to go big surfaces and you want to cover some area, then you can still go pretty fast. So I will just open that out wide as far as it'll go. This is still the number 4 needle. I'll turn my air up. I'll adjust it in a minute, I think, and then just on 5. Need to clean one of the air horns out, but I'll put some more paper down. That's a bit too splattery, so again we can knock some air down, knock some paint down. Running out of paper, and that's a better, we can still tune that in a bit better, but without there being so much dust in the air, we just dial that down. You probably want to up it a little bit more, or I'd actually put a number 5 needle in if I was going for big areas. But when you're going for big areas, you need to make sure that you're getting enough paint on there, because the air's coming out as well. It'll start to dry what's on there, so these bits that are the overspray, when it's not fine enough, they'll end up being a bit rough if you've not put enough paint on. So if you were doing big paneling and things like that, because the air's coming out and it's coming out quite fast, it's going to dry, or the overspray is going to land on the wet paint, and then that's going to cause it to be rough. So I'll give it a go spraying while I'm holding the camera. So they're my settings that I've gone for. So as well, when I'm spraying, if you can hear that, as soon as I pull that trigger there'll be a drop in pressure and then it builds back up. So I'm always keeping my finger on the air, and then I'll just pull for paint, keep it on the air, pull for paint, keep it on the air, instead of doing that, because you'll get a slight dip in the pressure that's coming out. And because I'm trying to get it on fine, because that's pretty detailed and it's not, the paint isn't sticking to it too well, I'll just flash dry it off with just the air on, and then I can just coat it up quickly straight after. I've just done a third coat, and this is my final settings. Again, machine on power 5, number 4 needle, same paint that was in before. I've not added any more. So I'm just on number 4 and just below half. So I've kept it a bit finer this time, not letting as much paint out. Just wait for that to kick off. So I've dropped my settings down. It's pretty fine mist. And that's just because I've wound that further out, so it's smaller, not further out, so it's smaller, so it's giving me a finer spray. So there from before, it just allows me to go a little bit slower and just get that, and just a light coat on there. It's a pretty good gloss actually for a water-based. It's got a decent sheen to it. So yeah, that's it for today. And then if I'm packing it away, but I might be using it tomorrow, I'll just tape the end up, keep everything in there, and just slows the drying process of the bit of wet paint that'd be on there, so you might just have a little bit of skin that you just scratch off. But then I do that with the Ultra as well. Never had an issue, to be honest. When I got this back out, the last time I used that must have been over 3 months since, and I still had paint in it from then. Paint inside was still fine because it's sealed, and it had just started to go a little bit gloopy on the very end of the needle, so just in the tip end. So I just took that out. It just took a couple of minutes to clean as it would normally, but you know, you can store that for quite a time. Well, it's mainly water-based stuff that I store, but I have used Zinza bin in one of my Fuji guns, and I've kept that in there for months and months. I don't clean it apart from the tip end, and that's been fine as well. So